Hello, beautiful people. Someone asked me the other day, how long did it take for you to write your first novel? Okay, so I wrote my first book. It's called Live Freely, Freedom to Work Whenever, Wherever. Here's a copy right here, available now on Amazon. Shameless plug. But this is actually a picture of me climbing a tree with my 40 something year old self. Was like, I'm gonna climb a tree today. And in Kona on Big Island, Hawaii. So this book, I share my story of how I went from teen mom growing up in the projects of Savannah, Georgia, to a globe-trotting scientist and CEO. This book is not just a personal finance book. It's a story of hope, and it's a story of triumph. It is my story of how I paid off $33,000 worth of debt in 36 months, boost my credit score from low 600 to over 800, saved $20,000 in 1 year, fired my boss, and began traveling the world. Today, I've been to 20 plus countries and county. So I began writing my story January 1 of 2020 in Jamaica. I was literally lying, basking in the sun on 7 Mile Beach, and the spirit said, it's now time to tell your story. That began my day one. I had never written a book before, but it has always been a dream of mine for the past 20 years to share my story, to empower others, to encourage others to be great, right? I didn't know where to begin, so I just started writing in notes on my phone. I had no structure, I had no timeline. It was truly a creative, spiritual journey. This was truly a process, and then the pandemic happened, and it was like, well, you got time. So in the beginning of the pandemic, I decided to quit my job again and move to Hawaii, and I lived in Hawaii for 9 months. And that was 9 months I decided to really take my writing seriously and just focus on writing at least 3 to 4 sentences every day. And so I just picked up momentum. Some days I would write more and some days I would write less, but I lived in an oceanfront condo, and so I was able to just sit there and be inspired living next to the water. In the middle of pandemic, me writing my story, telling my story, me living my best life, my aunt passed away, and this really, really catapulted me into just really telling my story and leaving a legacy for my daughter and my grandbaby. So around October of 2020, right, I really began picking up momentum, and I really began focusing on finishing my story and writing my book. By November, I had finished writing my story. I went on Fiverr.com. I hired an editor to go through my manuscript, and also I hired a person to help me format it for KDP Amazon. And by December, I became a self-published author. The biggest takeaway in this entire experience for me is to, no matter what you've been through in life, no matter what you're going through in life, if you have a dream, if you have a goal and you're consistent, and though you may not reach that goal in the timeline you had anticipated, it doesn't mean that you are denied the greatness that is owed to you. So my biggest thing with Live Freely is to be able to give freely and to help inspire people and empower people and to motivate people to live great, to live your truly God-given purpose. And don't let nothing stop you or anyone stop you or anything tell you what you can and cannot do, because I'm a perfect example of how you can overcome life triumphs and struggles and the vicissitudes of life to be who you were destined to be. So that's my story. It took me about a year to write my book, Live Freely, Freedom to Work Whenever, Wherever. And now I have the freedom and the time to do whatever I want, whenever I want.